So replay memory. Replay memory class is designed to manage agent's memory of the game experiences. It stores the state, action, reward, next state, and whether the episode ended. Done. For each step in the game. So for each step, we store all of these information, right? So this is one experience. A tuple which contains a state, action, reward, next state, and done. Okay. So at the present state, agent takes a step. That means agent takes an action. Based upon this action, the agent will be rewarded and then it will land on the next state. And this done is to check whether the episode has ended. So again, from the present state, take an action. Based upon the action, agent will be rewarded. It could be positive reward or negative reward. Then agent lands to the next state, and this flag is to check whether the current step has ended the episode. So during the game, we store all of these experiences. An agent will learn from these experiences. So for example, let's say we have a snake here and there is an apple here. And when a snake eats this apple, we give a positive reward to the snake. Let's say plus 10. So this is one experience. And let's say this is a wall and a snake hits the wall and dies. We give the negative reward. Let's say minus 10. And the episode is done because the game is over. So this will be true. So this is another experience. So this is one positive and one negative experience. We'll store these experiences in memory and snake will learn from this experience. For example, next time there is an apple next to a snake will know that it will get the positive reward by eating this apple. And if there is a wall next to a snake will try to avoid the wall because from the past experience, the snake will know that it will get the negative reward if it hits the wall. Okay, so we store all of such experiences in memory. And agent will be trained based on these experiences. So let's create a replay memory class. Let's have a class for replay memory. Let's create a constructor. First, let's have the device. So let's understand this. This determines whether to use GPU or CPU for computation. Okay. Why? Because leveraging a GPU significantly accelerates training when it's available. So we'll check if it is available. If not, we'll default to CPU. Next, self.capacity. So this is the capacity for the memory. So capacity, this constructor will have capacity. Now self.memory. Now the constructor is done. Now let's have the push method for pushing the experiences into memory. This will take event self.memory.append event, where the event is nothing but this tuple. Also, we need to check if memory exceeds its capacity, we need to delete the old experience. So if length of is greater than self.capacity, delete self dot. So if memory exceeds the capacity, we delete the oldest experience. Now let's have the sampling experiences method. Let's call it as sample k. First, we need to randomly select the batch of k experiences. Okay, so experiences, and we'll use random dot sample. We have to select it from the memory and the size is k. Now we have list of experiences, that is list of tuples which contains state, action, reward, next states and done. Now we have the list of tuples, and each tuple has these 5 components. Now we need to separate these components and convert them into PyTorch tensor so that it will be compatible with neural network. So import NumPy. Okay, we don't have NumPy, so we need to install that. So pip install NumPy. Okay, so we have it. So it is installed. Okay, as np. So now let's have these states. State torch dot from NumPy. So let's understand this. So we have list of experiences. Experiences are the list of tuples. And the first component in the tuple is the state. So E of 0 gives the state. And this gives the list of all states. Now we vertically stack these states using vstack function. So this creates a structured batch of states that can be fed into neural network. Now we have this stacked NumPy array, and we'll convert this into PyTorch tensor using torch.fromNumPy. Now this is necessary because PyTorch neural networks operates only on tensors. Then we'll use this float method to convert integers to float because neural network typically expects floating points. And at the end to device, this moves the tensors to appropriate device. If GPU is available, then we'll use GPU, else we'll default to CPU. So this is slightly complex. So let's understand this again with an example because this is very important. Okay, so we have the list of experiences. So this is a list. So let's say these are the list of experiences. So we have states, action, reward, next state, and done. Okay, so here we can see that states are 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9, 10 in different experiences. First, we'll extract the states, E of 0. So that's the first component in the tuple. So that will give us the list of states, 1, 2, 5, 6, and 9, 10. Then we'll use vstack function to stack them vertically. So if you notice, we stack them vertically in one NumPy array. Then we convert them into PyTorch tensors, then cast to float. Then we'll move to device, GPU if it is available, else CPU by default. Okay, so let's go back to our IDE. We are going to repeat this process for all other components. So we have 5 components. So take actions, rewards, next states, and done. So actions is E1, reward is E2, next state is E3, and done's are E4. If you notice, the fifth component that is done is a boolean, not integer. So we need to convert it to integer before we call this float method. So let's do that. So we'll call s-type. So this method converts data to unsigned 8-bit integer. So this will convert true to integer value 1 and false to integer value 0. So we have made a small mistake here. So this is a list. Okay. And now we'll return states, actions, rewards. Now we are done with the sample method. So let's summarize. So first, we randomly select the k experiences from the memory. Then for each component, we'll extract it from the sample experiences, stack them into 2D NumPy array, then convert them into PyTorch tensors, then ensures that the tensor uses the floating point precision, then moves the tensor to the correct device, GPU or CPU. So at the end, we'll return states, actions, rewards, next states, and dones. So current states take the actions, get the rewards, move it to the next states, and dones. Okay, let's run it again. Okay, So another error, nd array, no attribute as type, this line. Okay, there's a typo here. This should be as type. NP, another typo, this should be uint. Okay, let's delete the model. Okay, another issue. Q expected local network actions dtype int64 for index. So actions. So we are getting actions from here. Okay, action can't be float value, so let's change it to long.